Afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. And in this episode, I'm going to be trying something new. Came up with an idea to try last night. And I'm going to be calling these group of episodes Stand or Fall. Now, I'm going to be talking about an artist, an established artist who, during the course of their career, have tried what you call one-off projects, and usually they've recorded one or two albums with this project. And I'm going to be discussing whether or not the project had can still stand up um, after all these years. Has it stood the test of time, or has it fallen off a cliff to its untimely death over time? Because most often than not, you listen to an album from an artist. Maybe it's something that they've done on the sly, or just spur of the moment. And when you first buy it, it's like, oh, it's great. This is wonderful. And then when you listen back to it about a year or two later, it's like, okay, what was I thinking? So that's the premise of this. I'm going to be picking artists that have done one off projects, and I'm going to be talking about whether or not the project has stood the test of time, or whether or not it's fallen off a cliff and died an untimely death and never to be heard from again. So hopefully you guys like this idea. It seems a little interesting um, for me to try and do this. Sorry. Uh, um, my first uh, artist that I've picked for today is David Bowie. Now, David Bowie in 1987 released his album Never Let Me Down, and he embarked on the Glass Spider Tour, which was an ambitious concert production choreographed by Tony Basil of One Hit Wonder of Mickey, single in 1981, 82. She choreographed this whole stage production that he did. Um, the fans and the critics were a little confused as to, number one, what the album was about, and number two, what the whole concert tour was about. And Bowie has said in interviews over the years that um, the albums Tonight and Never Let Me Down were the two albums that he allowed other people to arrange for him in terms of musical composition. And according to him, it annoyed him to his very core that he allowed somebody else to arrange his music for him. So in 1988, he was feeling a bit down about the performance of Never Let Me Down. And he wanted to put together a group and just go out and perform, just as he put it, just good old rock music. He got in touch with the guitarist Reeves Gabrels, uh, and bassist, excuse me, bassist Tony Fox Sales, and drummer Hunt Sales. Uh, Tony and Hunt Sales are the sons of Soupy Sales, the comedian. They decided to put an album together of original compositions. And I do believe there's one John Lennon cover on the album. There's 14 tracks on this album. They released an album under the name of Tin Machine. And again, it was released May of 1989. And when it came out, they even released an EPK, an electronic press kit, containing a video that was a medley of some of the songs on the album. The medley was about 13 minutes long, and it featured such songs as Under the God, uh, Bus Stop, Tin Machine, um, what to say about this album and the type of music. Basically, Bowie described it as they got together, started to write material, and they basically hit the ground running. They just recorded whatever ideas or came into their heads, and that's how they pieced the music together. Um, it's very straightforward rock and roll, very obscure, kind of obscure lyrics, uh, not very melodical in terms of song structure. Um, some people compare the album to grunge before there was grunge because there's a lot of heavy guitar on it, like rhythm guitar. And Bowie, for the time period, wanted to sort of break away from his past. Ziggy Stardust and Space Oddity and all that kind of stuff. All those tracks. Sorry. Um, the album did receive mixed reviews. Now, he did continue with Tin Machine. He did a Sound and Vision tour in 1990, which I did see, by the way, and that was a great tour. Short concert, but great show. I mean, it started at 7:30, it ended at a quarter to nine. You know what I mean? Like it was very short. And his idea at that time was to play his hits and never play them again after the tour. He was going to retire the songs after the tour, which he didn't end up doing. But I digress. Um, he released Tin Machine 2 with the band in 1991. And as you can tell from the photo, it features the pictures of the four Greek gods on the cover, and the cover itself caused a lot of controversy. Tin Machine 1 was released, I should also mention, on EMI America. Tin Machine 2 was released on Victory/London Records. Uh, Tin Machine 2, there's more song structure, there's more melody with songs like You Belong in Rock and Roll, Baby Universal, um, songs of that nature. One Shot was was a single from the album. The album, again, it's there's more song structure in terms of the tracks that were recorded for the album. Um, but for reasons um, unbeknownst to Bowie, the critics never uh, took to Tin Machine. When they did perform live, they did some tours. When they did tour, the critics were complaining that Bowie didn't do his hits. Well, according to Bowie, that was the point, was to break away from the hits and what he did before. Um, Listening back to the albums today, um, the question is here, have they stood the test of time, or did they fall off a cliff? Stand or fall? Well, there's they do stand, but on one leg. Um, the debut album from Tin Machine, it's not very memorable in terms of songs. In terms of no memorable catchy choruses from any of the songs on it. Um, Tin Machine 2 does have songs like Baby Universal, One Shot, You Belong in Rock and Roll, that are song based, you know, a verse, a chorus, bridge, chorus, fade out, or dead stop, you know. So they do have, it does have that, sorry, that that song structure element there. Um, so yeah, it does stand, but again on one leg. But I guess it's better than nothing at all, right? And they did release one live album after Tin Machine 2. It was called Live Oy Vey Baby. The band broke up in 1992 due to internal conflicts in the band. Um, some band members got into using drugs, which Bowie distanced himself from, going through the history that he had with drug addiction. So, had could this band have continued if they were given a third album to record? That there was intentions to record a third album, but that went by the wayside when there were issues with individual band members. So again, in my opinion, does this album stand or fall? Yes, it does stand. Do these side projects, sorry, stand or fall? Yes, they do. Barely, like I said, on one leg. It would be interesting to see what would have happened had Boy been able to continue his solo career alongside the Tin Machine project. It is, and it's got to be said too that Bowie used uh, Tin Machine as a way to revitalize himself, to get reinvigorated with regards to recording music. Because at that point, when he formed Tin Machine, he was feeling quite down as to the state of his career, where was it going to go, etc. So, um, down below, down there, please leave your comments. Do you like Tin Machine as a group? Do you feel that they had musical merit, or do you feel like it was just Bowie and company making just a bunch of noise? You know, um, or do you think that they could have continued had they been able to record maybe a third album? Who knows? So again, please leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. And again, hit like and subscribe. And please click the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content that is going to be coming up. I'm going to be doing a misguided or misunderstood segment with Ryan Gavalier. We're taping that on Friday. And the album in question that we're going to be talking about is Yes, Big Generator. Was it a misguided step? Was it misunderstood by the fans? We'll find out. And I'm also going to be doing shows coming up with Bill Schuster. We're going to be ranking the albums of Canadian rock band Chilliwack. And we're going to be doing Rush, ranking the albums, and also Black Sabbath. That's going to be cool. And one I'm also looking forward to is Joe Jackson. We have to fine tune that idea as to what's going to happen, right, with that, which time period that we're going to cover. So that's all for this episode. I hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys are looking after yourselves and one another. Please take care. I am Armando Venditti signing off. Bye for now.